All right, good morning. Again, my name is Sybil Kears. I'm grateful to be here with you guys. We are going to be talking about the FX copy and paste indicator setup. We're going to be talking about that today. So before I get too far ahead of myself, if you are able to hear me clearly, please put a number 1 in the chat. Please put a number 1 in the chat if you're able to hear me clearly. I don't want to do all this talking and nobody can hear me. So if you can hear me clearly, someone put a number 1 in the chat for me. Awesome. Thank you, Irish. All right. So at this point, yesterday we talked about setting up your broker account, your demo account, and that kind of thing. But today we want to talk about the FX copy and paste indicator. So I will basically be asking questions and I'm kind of interactive because I have to know where you are in order to know what to tell you. So I may ask you to put a number in the chat, or if you're not able to do that, thank you everyone. Excuse me. If you're not able to do the chat, you can unmute yourself. Just remember to put yourself back on mute, especially if you have background noise or anything going on. Okay. So I will be asking you brief questions just so I know where you all are at. My goal is to help you, but it's I don't want to talk about things that you don't need me to talk to you about, if that makes sense. So your participation is going to help me help you. All right. So I need to know, did everyone download the indicator yet? That's what I need to know. Okay. So my question is, if you have not downloaded the indicator yet, if you have not downloaded the indicator as of yet and installed it, please place a number 2 in the chat or unmute yourself and let me know that you have not, so that I could go start from there. If everyone has already downloaded the indicator, then there's no need to go over that. All right, Jeannie, I see 1. This is number 2, okay? Anyone else that has not downloaded and installed the indicator as of yet? Okay, I got 2. Anyone else? All right. Good morning, Demetrius. I just posed a question. If you have not yet downloaded the indicator, then put a number 2 in the chat or unmute yourself and let me know. So far I have 3 people. All right, cool. So let's start from there. Let me get to the site. All right, let me get my screen share over. Okay, so you guys should be seeing the website at this point. I think I hear somebody. Good morning, Nicole. All right, I'm gonna put you on mute for a moment. They could have let me. All right, Nicole, I did pose a question. If you have not downloaded the indicator yet, that's where I'm going to start from, and then we'll move forward. But today we're talking about the FX copy and paste setup. All right, so hopefully we'll get through this before 9 a.m. All right, so right now you guys should be seeing the website. FXCopyandPaste.com is where you go when you initially need to get to where you need to be. All right, so you would click right up here. It says sign in here. It's in yellow. It says already a member, sign in here. That's where you would click. All right, you should have received an email or some type of indication as to what your credentials are in order to be able to log into the account. All right. Once you have all of your username and your password and you log in, this is what you will see. This is the first screen that you will come to. Okay. So starting here, step one, literally there's steps for every level of what you need to do. And we're going to go over a couple of them up until we get to where we download the indicator. The first thing that it's telling you to do, if you already have a MetaTrader 4 account, click here and enter it into the additional profile information. You have to do this before you download the indicator. All right. You have to do this step before you download the indicator. So when you click here in red, you will be asked some additional information. So on your MetaTrader 4, prior to when you set up your broker's account and you identify your demo or live trading account, you were giving an account number. So let me pause and make sure that everyone knows. Does everybody know their trading account number, whether it's a live account or a demo account? Because you will need that prior to installing the indicator. If you know your demo account number or live account trading number, please put a number 3 in the chat. If you know your account number. Awesome. Anyone else, if you already know your account number. Cool. All right. So it seems like mostly everybody, I probably should have used a different number, but anyway. If you don't know your account number, then you will get with someone afterwards, after this little training, so that we can kind of help you figure out what that number is. But you do have to have it before you could proceed with the steps I'm about to go over, okay? Make sure you write that down. Gotcha. Yes, we're going to get to that point, Nicole, in a second. All right. So, well, probably more than a second. All right. So for those of you who have not downloaded the indicator as of yet, you will click here, and this is what will pop up. Make sure this is the account, whatever account you're going to be trading with, because some people have more than one account. So the indicator will only work on one account at a time. So whatever account you will primarily be trading the indicator with, put that MetaTrader 4 account number, which is your trading account number, here. Then if you are going to share this opportunity with other people, notice up here at the top, I have a referral link. If you decide that you would like to share this opportunity with other people and also get a little something, something for your efforts, then put your social security number there. Once you're done, you hit submit, and then you would click here to continue, okay? So this has to be done before we download, okay? So now I'm gonna click here. My computer's running slow this morning, guys. I'm going to click here to continue because you can go back and watch these videos later. They'll be very helpful, especially if you are fairly new to Forex altogether. All right. Here, step number 8 is telling you to download some apps to your phone. You may or may not have already done so, but just go back and look at some of these apps and make sure you have those things downloaded on your phone. These are more information about brokerage and how to set up your broker account. You definitely want to download the trading plan because it helps you to understand how to coordinate your lot size based off your account size, okay? And step number 15 says chart and indicator setup. We're going to click that. And here is where we have access to download the indicator. Okay. There's a series of different videos that are here for to basically help you. Feel free to watch those whenever you need it. Okay. Step number 16 tells us to download the FX and copy and paste indicator in the crossover indicator system here. And since it's in red, that's what we're going to click on. All right. I want to draw your attention to the links and resources because these are all of what we need you to download. Granted, it's not in red, but if you move your mouse over it, it's something that you can click on to download. You need this indicator that's called C time. You need this indicator that's called pip counter. You need this indicator that's called candles. When you download it, it's actually going to say Synergy Pro, I believe. You need your symbol changer. And here you have your downloads for your FX copy and paste and the FX copy and paste crossover. All right. So once you click all of those things, it will begin to download onto your computers. You see down here at the bottom, it's downloading for me. Depending on how your system is set up, I don't know where your downloads go to. It may go straight to your downloads folder, or it may go to somewhere else, but you need to find where they have it downloaded. Okay. All right, so the FX copy and paste is right down here. I'm going to click it open, and you see it here. All right, you just double click it. When you double click it, you need to make sure that all of your MetaTrader 4, you don't have it open. Make sure your MetaTrader 4 is closed. You will get a message. Some systems have it. If you have antiviral software on your computer, it may interfere. You're going to have to bypass it and continue with the install. Okay, so depending on how your computer is set up, I've had to help some people kind of figure out how to bypass their antivirus software. But once you get this, you click run, and it will ask you which versions of MetaTrader. Well, sorry, put in your email address first, the one that you signed up with, the one that is on your account. Do not put a different one in there. It will confuse the system. So whatever email address that you use when you signed up, that's what goes there. Click next. You determine which versions of MetaTrader 4 you would like to have the indicator work on.
Excuse me, Sybil. Are we supposed to be seeing your screen as you do that, or are you just talking?
No, you guys are not seeing it. Thank you for that.
Okay.
My help. Hold on. Let's do this. Okay, you guys should see it now. Let me go back. All right, so you guys see this file here that says FXCAP _ setup _2. That's the FX copy and paste indicator. You double click it, and this was the message I was speaking about. If you get this, just click on run, and if you have antivirus software, you'll have to figure out how to bypass it. There is a way, but you will have to look at it and see, or you may just have to disable the antivirus software to allow for the installation and then re-enable it afterwards. So I'm gonna click run. Here's where you're gonna enter the email address that you used when you signed up. Click next. If you have more than one version of MetaTrader 4 on your system, on your computer, then it will pull it all up and it will ask you which ones you want it to be installed on. I'll leave it all selected. I'm gonna click next, and then I'm gonna click install. And once you're done, it doesn't take but a few seconds, and then you're finished. All right. Next, I'm gonna go to the FXCAP crossover setup. And here you'll see a similar file. Double click it, and the process will be almost the same. I'm I'm going to hit run. I'm going to enter my email address. I'm going to hit next. It's almost a similar process. Hit install and we're done. All right. These other indicators that we download, the seat time, pip counter, candles, symbol changer, those will have to be physically or rather manually placed into your MetaTrader 4. They will not install like these other two indicators, okay? Those you will have to manually put in, and I believe there's a video on the site telling us how to do that. If not, then you just want to send an email to FX Copy and Paste, and someone will get with you on a one-on-one to show you how to do that. But you will need those to work with your computer because they add different things. They show you how to count your pips. It gives you the time remaining on a candle and the symbol changer, and also it gives us what we call the Hakanashi candles versus regular candles. So pretty cool to have. All right. Now I'm going to go to my MetaTrader 4. Excuse my junky desktop. All right. So when you open up your MetaTrader 4, because I already had it installed, you see the indicator, but normally it would not show. All right, so I'm going to change my indicator. So let's say you open up your MetaTrader 4 and you don't see the indicator. What you will have to do is right click on your chart, the main chart, the top chart, go to templates, and see here, you will see FX copy and paste crossover. All right, you see other versions that I have, but that's because this indicator has been upgraded 2 additional times. The most recent version is the FX copy and paste crossover. So that's what you will have to click on. When you click on it, this is what you will see on your, it's sending me alerts, guys. I'm sorry. This is what you will see. Now, I will draw your attention to the fact that the candles, these are Hakanashi candles. So again, if you don't have those other indicators yet installed or yet placed into your MetaTrader 4, you may not see these candles. Those other 4 indicators, the C time, the pip counter, the candles, and whatever that 4th one was, if you have to have it inside of your indicator list, which is right here, prior to it showing up on here. Now, don't stress if you don't have it initially. You can place them in after you've already installed it, and then just reactivate the template, and then it'll all pop up. I already have those things installed, so you're able to see those other indicators actively on my chart. Okay. And like I said, if you need help with that, just send an email to the FX Copy and Paste support, and we will get with you to get it installed. It does not take very long at all. All right.
So Sybil, so when you have it in your chart on the side, but you haven't installed it actually on your chart, how do you do that? I mean, would it take long for you to tell us how you actually bring it over from the chart to the template?
Okay, so you're talking about the other 4 indicators?
Yeah.
Right. No, it doesn't take long at all. And yes, I can show you how to get it over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go over that in a second.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other questions about the installation of the program so far? Any other questions? If you have, let me look in the chat. Okay. Okay, so I don't see that there are any questions at this time. If you at any point throughout this training have any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can unmute yourself, all right? All right. So I'm gonna show you guys how to place other 4 indicators that you downloaded from the website. I'm gonna bring it back up so we can, if you need to write it down, you can. It's called C time, pip counter, candles, symbol changer. All right. Again, this is under the links and resources of this download indicator page of the website. So in order to do what you got to do, you have to know 2 things. You have to know 2 things. One, you have to know where your stuff downloads to. Like I mentioned earlier, some people by default, their system will download to a downloads folder. So you hit, if you click on it, it's going to go straight to whatever your system has set for your downloads to go to. You need to know that. A lot of times people will download it, but they don't know where it downloaded to. So they keep clicking on it and they'll have multiple downloads of the same thing. So make sure you know where that is in order to complete the step I'm about to go over. All right. The second thing you have to do is have your MetaTrader 4 open. All right. These little icons that are on the MetaTrader 4, they're there for your convenience, but everything that's an icon up here is also inside of one of these menu options, all right? But you would, in order to access your folder where your indicators physically are within the program of your MetaTrader 4, you have to go to File. So I don't know if you have anything to write down with, and just in case you ever join any of my trainings, always have something to write down with because it will help you remember later on. And if you're like me, I don't remember so well like I used to. Okay. So we're going to hit File. We're going to click on File. And then we're going to come down here to Open Data Folder. Some say Data. I say Data. Tomato, tomato. All right. Open Data Folder. When you click that, you will see another folder open up. Okay. The next thing I want you to look for is this MQL4. It should be midway of your list if you have your icons looking like mine. If not, look for MQL4 and double click that. It will open up another folder, and here you see indicators. Double click indicators, and this is a list of every indicator that I have installed, and your list may not be as long. I have a lot of other indicators, but nonetheless, when you get into this indicator folder, that's where I need you to stop. Do I hear a question? All right. All right, I'm gonna minimize my MetaTrader 4. So depending on where your files are, where they downloaded to, for me, mine's by default goes to my desktop because I changed it. I changed it that way. Doesn't mean that that's how yours will do, okay? Yours may go straight to what's called a downloads folder. And if that's the case, I have a shortcut to my downloads folder here. But granted, everyone isn't tech savvy, and that's all right. We're going to get around that. If you, depending on what version of Windows you have, you can still find your downloads folder by you can click on your PC and you'll have downloads here. There's different ways you can actually do a search, look for downloads, click on type downloads down there. But if it goes to your downloads folder, then this is what you will have to click on to find out where your those indicators downloaded to. Once you've identified that, all you have to do at this point is simply drag and drop. All right. So I left clicked, I held on to it, I got to the folder I want to put it in, and then I let it go, and then it'll be inside that list, inside that folder. Okay. This is the seed time. Just let me move these out the way. So these are all the indicators that I downloaded. 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. You can highlight all of them, drag it and drop it. Just that simple. Once you've done that and you verified, because I already have these indicators in there, I'm not going to drop it in there. I don't want them in there twice. But I see here that I have my Synergy Pro, that I have my C time is in here. I have all of those indicators already in here. You can scroll down and make sure that those things are in there, okay? Once you're confirmed that those indicators are here, here's my C time. They're alphabetized kind of, so once you've made sure that they're there, you can close that folder. You dragged and dropped it, they're in there. You can X out the folder. Now you want to pull up your MetaTrader 4 to access your indicators on your MetaTrader 4. It's going to be this little icon here that's called a navigator, but it looks like a yellow folder and a yellow star. When you click that, on the left-hand side will open up a panel with all of your indicators. This is basically showing you what was in that folder we just closed out. You need to, you may not immediately see what you just placed in there, especially if your MetaTrader 4 was already open. So simply right click in a place where there's no writing and click refresh, and all of your indicators will pop up. So like I mentioned, they're alphabetized. So you'll see C time, you'll have to go down and, just verify that all your stuff is there. You won't have to do anything to apply it. But if you wanted to, any of the indicators there, you would simply double click it. It will pull up a window. You can, if you wanted to change the type of, excuse me, the way it displays, you can. I normally do with the C time. I like mine to be a little smaller. I change mine to white and I make the font size 10 and I click OK, OK, and there it is. This is my C time. I don't prefer mine to be that big because it kind of gets too confusing on my screen, okay? So you want to activate your C time on your chart. If you don't see your candles looking like mine, which is Hakanashi candles, then go down to Synergy Pro and double click it. Once you double click it and click OK, you should see your candles looking like mine. You don't see your symbol changer there, so you're going to have to activate that on your chart as well. So go down till you see symbol changer, double click it. Now, I do some alterations as well inside of the menu. Here it shows that you can have 20 buttons in a row. I find that on an average system, 16 to 18 usually allows it to fit within the chart, so that it doesn't go past what your allotted size is. So I normally change mine to 18. And then I change my font size to a 7 because sometimes the words are huge that it cuts some of the wording off. And you definitely want to know what pairs you're clicking on. Once you have those set, you click OK. And you'll see another chart open up at the bottom right down here. All right. That's my symbol changer. Okay. And what was the last one? Candles, pip counter, C time. All right, pip counter. The pip counter will not be called pip counter when you download it. It will probably be called X 2014 Pips V2. That's the actual name of the file. You double click it. There's really nothing else to alter in it. Just click OK. And you won't see it immediately pop up because you have to be actively in a trade in order for the pip counter to show. But once you go in a trade, you will see it telling you what your pip count is. So if you've ever seen any of us post a picture of like how many pips we're positive or in blue, that's what that pip counter is. That's what it does. If you've seen us post pictures about that, that's where we get it from. All right. So that's how you activate the other 4 indicators onto your chart to work alongside the FX copy and paste indicator. Once you've done all that, so that you won't have to do it every time that you actually open your MetaTrader 4. Briefly come here where it says Save Template. My mouse is moving back and forth. Click it. Once you see it turn green and back red or pink, you've saved it. So the next time you open this chart, all of those indicators will by default open with it. You won't have to go back and activate it every time. So anything you do different to your chart, I don't care if you want to adjust the size of some of your other charts that's on here. If you want to make more room or you want something else less expanded or whatever you do, whenever you do any type of changing on your chart, click Save Template. So you won't have to go back and do it again. All right. Any questions about that before I go over the rules? Nicole, we're going to get ready to talk about how to use it right now.
All righty, thank you.
All right, if we don't have any other questions, I don't see anything in the chat. I'm going to move forward. We got 20 minutes. We're making good time. All right, so here are the rules to the FX copy and paste. Once we get an alert or a signal, there's some things we need to look for before we take the trade, okay? So I wrote them out and I'm going to go over them briefly. All right. In trading, whenever we trade, we should not ever just go in a trade blind. Okay. We should not ever just go into a trade blind. We must, as traders, look for confirmations. You'll hear that terminology often. We must look for confirmations to kind of let us know, is this trade worth the risk? Is it more inclined to go in our favor than to go against us? And when I say go against us, I mean we losing, the trade is going opposite way. So if I went into a trade for a buy and suddenly price starts to decline, it goes into a sell, I'm losing. But if I go into a trade for a buy and the price continues to go up, I'm winning that trade, okay? So we want to be in a position that we've analyzed our charts to the point that we feel comfortable that the trade will continue to go in our favor. Market is never going to be easy to just go with what we want it to do. We have to make sure that we've done a good analysis to determine, yeah, it's a good deal. It's a good probability that we will gain a profit. All right. So the indicator has pretty much taken the guessing game out for some of you all. Some of us who have been trading longer have had to use other measures to get these confirmations. So that's what's so great about this indicator. For those of you who want to share this opportunity with someone, when I tell you that this is like taking candy from a baby, it is. Because some of us literally had to do a lot more confirmations with a naked chart, meaning no indicators, and figuring out, and through trial and error, blood, sweat, and tears, high stress levels, all of that good stuff, because we were figuring this thing out as new traders. So you're lucky, fortunate to have this indicator. All right. So the first thing you want to do when you get an alert is go to the daily chart. So I'm pull up my MetaTrader 4. The alerts will come when the market is favorable. So right now I have one that says CHF JPY on the day chart is a signal that came out. So I'm gonna double click that signal and it's gonna take me directly to that chart. Okay. Since I'm already on the day chart, I don't have to manually change the chart that I'm on. But if I needed to, up here is where you would do that. M1 is minutes, M5 is a 5-minute chart, M15 is a 15-minute chart, M30 is a 30-minute chart, H1 is an hour, H4 is 4 hour, D1 is day, W1 is week, and MN is month, all right? So if this signal was hypothetically for the hour chart, and it was telling us that it's a sell, what we need to do is go to the day chart by clicking D1 and looking at the trend. All right? Is the conditions of the market indicative of it being a sell or buy?
No. Buy.
A buy. So we know off the bat that even though this is a day chart, so there basically it could take 24 hours or longer for it to get to where it needs to go. But nonetheless, we understand at this point, we do see price coming down a little bit, but it's still over that 200. So we still inclined to believe that we are still in a buy trend. This could be a big retracement or anything, okay? It doesn't seem like it has gone past a previous low, looking at this yellow bar. But nonetheless, that's what you do. You go to the day chart just to confirm whether or not the signal corresponds with the trend, all right? That's the first rule. The second thing we do, in the event, hypothetically, let's say the trend was a sell trend, the next thing we want to do is we got to go back and confirm that we have a yellow dot, a white box, and a white arrow. A yellow dot, a white box, and a white arrow. We have a white arrow, we have a yellow dot, and we have a white box. Okay, y'all see that? I prefer my background to be black. So I'm gonna just change it because it just makes my life easier. All right, so you have the white dot, the white arrow, yellow dot, and the white box. Cool. Rule number 3. Have 2 confirmation bars consistent with the trade signal type on the FX copy and paste crossover indicator. So green is buy, red is sell. All right. So when this signal came out, again about here, all right, it would have only been one red bar. Okay. So we would needed to have seen a second bar before we consider the fact that it is going to go into a sell trend. Nicole, I can hear you speaking, but I couldn't hear you. It was like a lag. Can you type it in the chat and then I can answer your question? And that goes for anyone else. If you have a question, unmute or type it. You don't see my indicator. Hold on. Well, what am I sharing? Does anyone else see my MetaTrader 4 right now? Okay. Gotcha. I hear a lag, Nicole, when you're talking, so it may just be the connection and it may just be taking a moment to get to you. Gotcha. Awesome. All right. So we were talking about the white arrow, the yellow dot, and the white box. Okay. So that was the third rule. The fourth rule is confirm that the trading volume is 70% or greater, consistent with the type of trade the signal called for, whether it was a buy or sell. The trading volume is here. Bears is a sell, bull is buy. Okay. If you ever hear the terminology bullish, market is bullish, then you know that it's in a buy trend. If you hear bearish, then it's in a sell trend. So right here on the indicator on the left-hand side will be to let you know what the volume is. So if we're going in for a buy, we need that buy amount, the percentage to be 70 or better. If it's a sell, the same applies. In this case, we're at 62. So that wouldn't be a confirmation. We would need that 62 to be 70% or better, okay? Preferably 70% or better. All right. So far of the 4 confirmations, 2 of them didn't hit. 2 of them didn't hit. Okay. But hypothetically, if it did, the next thing we would confirm is the ex pro future. And then the sixth rule is the TDI. Both of these have to be consistent with the type of trade it is. All right. So this white line, which is underneath your main chart, that's your ex pro future. And then underneath you got some red and green lines. That is your TDI. Okay. So we are here where my yellow line is going down vertically. We are noticing that the pro future is showing a downward move, anticipating a downward move. So that is confirmation. And then here we see the red line was underneath, but it's going above the green. So that's not a confirmation. The red line has to be below the green in order to indicate that it is a sell, and above the green means that it's a buy. Right? The next rule, if all of these 6 confirmations are in place, then you take the trade. If not, you do not take the trade. Okay? If you do decide, yeah, I'm still going to take the trade, then just know that there's a greater risk or the possibility that the trade will not go in your favor. All right. Especially if you're using your live account and it's your money, you're welcome to trade how you want to. We're not here to tell you how to trade your own money. We're here to give you the skill set so that we can show you what's the best way to risk your money so that you would gain a profit instead of taking more losses. Now, I'm going to give a subtle disclaimer after I finish this, before I move on. Understand that trading, you will not win every trade. The best of the best, the master traders of master traders, nobody wins every trade because price market has its own way of doing things. Okay. However, with what we are teaching, we teach you that you will have way more wins than you will losses. So when you do have to accept a loss, it will not affect your wins. Okay. So you're able to take your losses in stride and learn from it and not feel like you've taken a total loss. Now, understand that some of us have been trading and we've blown accounts. What do I mean by that? Meaning, while in the process of learning how to trade, we literally took a trade that took all of our money, and you can't go ask for a refund. The broker ain't trying to hear that. We've lost money, lots of money, learning how to critique this craft. So you guys having this ability to have this indicator is definitely a plus, because some of the errors, the trial and errors that went into figuring out how to trade has been taken out of the equation for you guys, because you're able to follow these rules and minimize your risk, minimize your losses, minimize you blowing your account. But if you do decide to do something that is not in the rules, then you're just taking your own risk. I just wanted to express that. All right, number 8. Once you get in a trade, the next thing you have to do is determine what type of trade you're on. So the call was for a day trade. It was a day trade. So in that instance, according to the rules, anything under a day or 4-hour chart, anything less than, so a 15-minute chart, 30-minute chart, or an hour, your stop loss will be 30 pips. Your stop loss will be 30 pips. You will set that stop loss at 30 pips. If you are on a 4-hour or on a day chart, then you will set your stop loss to be half of whatever the ADR, the average daily range, is. What's the average daily range? Now I have to go in and change my chart to a different color because I'm not going to, hold on. All right. Up here, for you guys that still have your gray background, ADR is shown here, okay? The average daily range over the last 10 days, this is what is showing. So you would take half of whatever this number is, and you would make that your stop loss. It doesn't have to be precise, all right? But to the best of your ability, you want to take half of 57, round it up, round it down, whichever one, and make that your stop loss. If I was on the hour chart, then my stop loss will be set at 30 pips. Anything less than an hour and less will require a 30 pip stop loss. Anything that's a 4-hour or day chart will require half of whatever the ADR is showing. Is everybody clear on that? Any questions? Do I need to go over that again? All right. Cool. And the last thing to remember is it says take profit should be half of what the signal amount is. Our older version of the FX copy and paste indicator used to tell us the pip count, but I don't think this one does. I noticed the signals no longer give us because the scanning does something different than the older version of it. So I'm going to say that your take profit should always be geared towards 20 or better. 20 or better. I will get with Kirk to get clarification on that, but you want at least to take 20 pips off the table. That should be always your goal, and better and better. Right? We don't want to leave no money on the table. All right. So a couple more things I want to talk about: the entry rules. When do we take the trade? When you get into when you've where's this Google document? I typed it up, guys, because Kirk has a video, and I literally watched the video and typed this for purposes of this training. So I will put it as a file inside the group so you guys can just kind of click on it and download it for yourself. I'll put it in the Telegram group as a file so you can have it. And Kirk may eventually put it on the site in writing, but he does have a video. That's where I got it from. All right.
Sybil, Sybil, I'm sorry. This video is being recorded. So how soon does it get onto the site?
He put the video I did yesterday up there yesterday. So it probably today, because I have to do 2 conversions. I got to convert it from Zoom, then I have to upload it to YouTube. So that takes a couple hours in itself. And then I send him the link. Now, when he's able to go into the system and put it up there, that's going to be on him. So probably between today and tomorrow, I'm thinking.
Okay.
All right. So the entry rules, real quick. If price is below 200, the 200 moving average, we're looking for a sell opportunity. If price is above the 200 moving average, then we're looking for buy opportunities. We need to confirm also that the 10 moving average, which is the red, and the 50 moving average, which is the white, has crossed over. Either way, all right? If the red is crossing below, then it's indicating that there's a sell opportunity. If the red is crossing above the white, above the 50, then it's indication of a buy opportunity. So let's go to the chart and look at it. This pink line is your 200, all right? If price is above it, like it is, we're back here, then that means that we were in a buy trend. We're looking for buy opportunities. So notice that this arrow was pointing down, indicating that there was a sell opportunity approaching. Based off the rules, we wouldn't have gotten into this trade until it reached underneath the pink line. Granted, now that we are looking in the past, we can see that it did decline. But if we didn't have all of this information and we were still here, and if you learn about candles, you'll learn that the wick tells us a lot. And I'm not going to go into that today, but if you were here where this line showed up, where the arrow showed up, you would not be inclined to believe wholeheartedly that it's going to go into a sell. All right. So it's a good rule to remember that if your candles are below this 200, this pink, the 200 moving average, that you're looking for sell opportunities. And if it's above, then you're looking for buy opportunities. Okay. The other thing I want to point out is the red and the white. You see this red line, it's kind of hugging close to the candles. And then you have the white line, which is not always as close to the candles. The white line is your 50. You'll hear that term, just the 50. Yeah, it's going to test the 50 or something pertaining to the 50. That's what they're talking about, the 50 moving average. The 10 is your 10 moving average, and it's always going to be pretty close to the candles, okay? Here, where the white candle formed that I was just using as an example, we do notice that at that exact moment, the red line appears to be crossing below. So if this whole move would have occurred under this 200, we probably would have gotten in a trade a lot sooner, okay? But because the crossover did happen, the arrow did happen. However, the one thing that didn't happen is it was not under the 200. All right. So we would have waited until we got into this trade. So I asked Kirk to clarify for me where I can explain it to you all what the blue dot means. And he wanted to jump on here, but I told him we don't have a whole lot of time. So the blue dot is just an indication that there's a potential change in the trend. It's a potential change in the trend. Let me say that right. Okay. So, but as far as when to enter an actual trade, those are what you want to look for. You've confirmed all of the rules. And now you're like, okay, I got all my confirmations. I'm ready to take the trade. When do I get in? When do I get in? A lot of times they'll go down to a lower time frame, maybe the 15-minute, to try to indicate, look more precisely. My system is running so slow today. All right. And again, you would look for the same thing. So at a lower time frame, we're below the 200. We've confirmed all the other confirmations, and now we're looking for an entry point. We go to the 15. We see that we are below the 200. We will be able to look for the opportunity to take the trade based off that signal that was given to us. Do I hear a question? Anyone? No? Okay.
Sybil, what time frame were you on before you switched from the 15?
My Zoom was in the way, so I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
My Zoom, the control, where the panels to control what I need to do was in the way. I'm gonna click on the hour. I might have been on the day. I don't know. Yeah, I think I was on the day because the signal called for the day.
So how do you know which time frame to switch to if you was on the day? I mean, and you want to go to a lower time frame. It doesn't matter which time frame you go to, or
typically we go down to the 15. Okay. If you're on the day, you can go down to an hour. If it's on the day, you can go down to the hour. If you're on the hour, you can go down to the 15. The only time you want to go to a lower frame is to identify when is a good entry. So each whatever, and I'm just going to explain this for others as well. If I'm on the day chart, understand that each candle took a whole day to form. Took a whole day. All right. So a call for a day signal means you may not jump in this trade and see immediate results. It may take several hours before the move completes what the signal called for. Okay, so you're going to have to be patient with those day trades. Okay, but if you're on a day trade, my suggestion is to at least go down to the hour to determine when your entry should be. And that's when you look for, did the red cross over the white? Are we below the 200? Yes. So now I would feel comfortable taking the trade because I did my other confirmations. This is not the confirmation. This is not to determine should you take the trade. You wouldn't even look at this until you determine, okay, my confirmations are there. I'm now ready to take this trade. Now you want to look for when to get in the trade. That's when you look for, are you under the 200 and did the red and white crossover? I want to clarify that, and I hopefully didn't confuse anybody. All right. Your confirmations were going to be all of these other 6 things here. Okay, once you have confirmed that all 6 things have occurred, now you're ready to take the trade. That's when you go and look to see, am I under the 200 or above the 200? Did the red and white cross? Don't do that. Okay. Any other questions that I can answer? Check the chat.
Can you do a quick favor?
I can try.
Can you show that chart again, starting at 1? I actually took a picture of it, and
Which chart?
The confirmations, the one you wrote.
Okay. You want?
Sorry, I'm a picture taker.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, and if you could scroll it up, I'm gonna get the whole thing.
Is it all showing? Let me see what I see.
2 is showing. You got 2 on there.
Okay, this is the entry rules. This is not the confirmation. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's start at the top. I have the Zoom open on my phone so I can see what y'all see, because if not, I'll get what happened earlier, what happened. All right, so you got 1 through 4 showing. Let me know when you got your picture.
I got it.
All right. Anyone else, y'all welcome to take a screenshot. All right, let's go down to 5 through 7.
I got it.
And 8 and 9.
Thank you, Sybil.
You are very welcome. And again, I will put this document inside of the Telegram group. You guys can go into the files and download it. All right. So that basically concludes everything that we were going over for today. If there aren't any more questions, we're 6 minutes, a little over time, but nonetheless, excuse me, we have time to join Kirk on the New York session. He normally starts at 9 Monday through Thursdays. I strongly advise that you go and get on these live trading sessions as much as you can, the Asian and the New York, because then he talks more about the strategy, more about what he sees and what goes on. So please join him. I'm going to jump on as well. I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday, but I will today. And, continue to learn. And this wonderful opportunity, the skills that we're learning is so awesome to me. So if there aren't any more questions, I am going to conclude today's trading, and I'll be back tomorrow from 8 until 9. And that's when we talk about how to take a trade, when to close a trade, how to set your stop loss, how to set your take profits, and all that kind of stuff. We should be able to cover all that information tomorrow. Okay? Everyone good? All hearts and minds clear?
Thank you, Sybil.
You guys are welcome. Happy trading. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.